I am uh, a Christian and member of Waterview Church of Christ. That's a big proponent of who I am. I've been married to my wife Christine for almost 18 years. It'll be 18 years in June. Um, and it's amazing she hadn't smothered me yet in the middle of the night. Um, and then um, the pride and joy of my life is my daughter Cameron. She's 8 and very smart. Very blessed to have such a great kid. Um, as Shirley mentioned, I'm a Marine veteran. Did a couple of tours overseas. Was very blessed and fortunate to come back with all 10 fingers, all 10 toes, and um, no worse for the wear. But when you go through something like that, it definitely puts life into perspective. Um, things that people get stressed out about. It's not as it's a big deal, but it's not as big of a deal as one of my favorite sayings is nobody's shooting at you, so it's not that big of a deal. So um, what am I all about? One of the things that just an internal reflection, I love to help people. I was given that as a spiritual gift, and also the gift of compassion. Um, Sometimes my wife will say I've got a bleeding heart for people in need, single moms, people who have gone through a divorce. Um, they have a very special place, just because I hate seeing people struggle. Um, I love I don't say necessarily being the hero, but being somebody that can be relied on when somebody's in need. That's a huge deal for me, um, to be able to be counted on. So what sets me apart from most of the people in my profession is I like to go the extra mile. Um, Part of most of part of my insurance past is 12 years as a property adjuster. So I've been able to go out and look at damage and help people. This is actually when Eric Brashear's his shop flooded. I talked to him, and the company that was out there run out of fans. So I had a couple of just air handlers that my dad had given me from an air conditioning company, and I volunteered to go over and set a couple up just to help him out. um, he's not a customer, he's just a friend. So I was more than willing to brave the ice and snow and go set that stuff up for him. um, Another thing I do for my clients is if they have damage to their home, I'll try to walk them through the process of getting a claim started, go over and kind of assess the damage for them, and just kind of walk them through. That way they know that they've got somebody on their side to help them um, be prepared for what happens, and have somebody that they can call and talk to without um, necessarily talking to a claims adjuster, or basically just have an advocate for themselves. I love being a guide to um, just help people through difficult situations. I'm not an expert on everything, but having seen a lot of different things in life and in insurance, it helps me kind of be able to give pointers here and there to make sure that things are going the right way. One of the things that I pride myself on is having been in the adjusting side. You got to learn policy and policy language really well, what endorsements provide coverage, what exclusions there are. So I like to say that I've got a pretty intimate knowledge of personal lines, home and auto policies, to be able to make sure that people understand what's covered. Is as some of my clients will tell you, that the way I explain things to people when they're looking at buying a policy and things like that, the phrase I often hear is, nobody's ever explained that to me like that before. I never want to be the one just to sell you something and you not know what's in it. Because then if you have a claim and the adjuster comes back and is like, well, you're not covered for that. The phrase I hated hearing the most, well, my agent never said anything, about that not being covered. So I always want to make sure that what's covered. And I always try to make sure that when I do write a policy, it's always coverage forward. Price, is a huge determining factor in what people decide to do. But if you're saving a couple $100, but your roof deductible's 2% or 5%, and you've got a $300,000 house at 5% deductible, now you're at $15,000 just to get your roof replaced. If I can save you, a little bit, or kind of encourage you to say, hey, if you put out a little bit more a month, you can save, you don't have to come out of pocket, an extra $12,000 for a roof, or have a claim not be covered because you didn't have the long-term seepage endorsement or anything like that. Above all else, I want to make sure that I listen to what you want. If I can provide suggestions for what I think might be appropriate or a need, then that's what I'll do. But ultimately, I want to give you the policy that you want and that you need. The other thing is to make sure that I'm steady when things get chaotic. This picture is a house where a water heater burst, not water heater, a hot water line froze and burst and just flooded the entire house. The homeowner didn't really know what to do, so I was able to kind of go through and give them an idea about the damage and walk through the claims process. So I'm definitely there to try to help ease people's minds and make sure that they have a steady hand when in the chaos. So one of the things that I enjoy about being a broker is that we focus on you and not on company goals. So we've got quite a few different companies that we work for, or that say we work for, that we can sell policies through. We've recently added Allstate and Encompass, but most of these are brand recognizable, and we do a lot of business with several of these companies. So we definitely want to make sure that we have options available to try to get you the best policy. And one of the things that I do when a customer comes in and wants a quote is we put it into the system. We get different prices, but I'll go to each 3 or 4 different carriers and actually put in the specific information. So it's basically running 5 or 6 quotes for each person to try to make sure that I get the best possible package of coverage and price. So one of the things that when I was talking to Jeff about doing this presentation, I was like, well, what am I going to talk about? He said, well, do the who, what, when, and where. I was like, well, what am I going to say about where? So one of the things I thought of is consistency. Jeff has been in the same office for 7 years. We're right down the road from City Hall in Prosper. So we're pretty centrally located, and people know where we're at. Between myself, Robert, and Jeff, we've got about 30 plus years of insurance experience. So we're able to find solutions to difficult opportunities. There's been several opportunities or several customers that have had rental houses that the condition wasn't as great, and so some of the main carriers wouldn't really write it. So we've had to go to some of our wholesalers to get things done. Whereas with a captive, it's, well, we can't, nobody in our system will write it. So now you got to find somebody else. We can find somebody to help you out. As I mentioned earlier, we want to try to find you the best coverage at the lowest possible price. Even if it's a little bit higher than what you're expecting, we want to make sure that you have the coverage you need at a price you can afford. We enjoy helping our community. Some of the different groups that we've been involved with, Texas GSP Rescue. Jeff and I have both adopted dogs from this rescue in the last year. You can see my two. There's Oreo, the black one, and Roscoe is the brown one. We are in the process of finalizing the adoption for Oreo, so we're excited to officially make him a member of the family. Another group that we enjoy helping out with is Toys for Tots. Obviously, being a Marine, that's very near and dear to my heart. So we went ahead and became a drop-off location. So we will do it again next year, and so hopefully we can continue to have that relationship and provide kids with a good Christmas every year. Neighbor Nourishing Neighbors is one that Jeff has been involved with, and they've actually got an event coming up. I believe it's next month in Prosper. So we definitely want to try to, we definitely donate to that group so that they can help put food on people's tables that are in need. So people ask what drives me. Being successful is one thing, but being a solid member of the community, being a good husband and father to my family is the most important thing. Being able to provide a solid home, solid lifestyle for my family, to make sure that they don't have to worry about the ebbs and flows of the economy. Insurance is a pretty stable business. Yes, there's times where it's lean, like last year during COVID. It was very slow, but we work hard and try to make sure that they're provided for and help to make sure that all our needs are taken care of. Okay. I also want to make sure that I set a good example for my daughter. This is Cameron. Like I said, she's the pride and joy of our lives. She's an incredible personality. Very, as you can see, kind of very sassy. But she's our one and only daughter, and we enjoy being able to spend time with her and making sure that we reinforce positive ideals and just to make sure that she's the best person that she can be. I also want to help her to fulfill her dreams. She wants to not only go to A&M, but she wants to go to be a vet. So that's one of the things that I'm working hard so that she can do. So if you want to chat about you know, anything, everything. My wife, she says I could talk to a wall for, you know, hours on end. So if you want to get together and have a one-on-one, or if you have a need, just give me a shout. I'm always here to help. So that's it for me. Any questions?
Nice presentation.
Thank you.
I like how you shared your family.
I'm just glad my internet didn't like. What's that?
I said, I love how you shared your family and included them, because then we get to know you better, and you know what drives you. I think that's really important when, you know, you're selecting somebody for insurance, especially, you know, you need somebody that you really trust, and you know, that just makes you, I don't know, people tend to be more trusting when you are open and authentic and sharing yourself that way. So I think that's awesome.
Well, Andrew definitely is that, very authentic. I remember when he was over helping Eric Brashears with his shop when a river runs through it with the pipe burstings. And then I gave him a chance to do my renter's insurance, and he got me more coverage, a lot more coverage for the same price I was already paying. So that kind of help and customer service is just one of the things that make Andrew a fantastic insurance broker.
Reach out to Andrew again for a one-on-one if you haven't met with him. There are a lot of things that he didn't even talk about in his presentation, just some of his other interests and things he does. So, so definitely reach out to him. So thanks again.